Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A warm welcome and a big thank you to all the Greek supporters to the Cyprus shipping news system. My job is a little bit difficult today because I'm speaking to you as a ship owner, I'm speaking to you as a seafarer, and I'm speaking to you also as a listener. I am in the shipping industry for almost 50 years. And I may have a little bit of a different window how I'm looking at things than some of you here in the room and our earlier presenters. But one thing which struck me a lot, we had the opening comments, and then we had afterwards the speech from Microsoft, from Maria. Did you notice the difference? No? When we listened about the chairman's opening remark where he said a company ashore with 700 employees, they would have internal human resources, very skilled, and what we have in the shipping industry. And then we had the presentation from EXA, and afterwards, Microsoft. Microsoft did not say even one time when they meant their workforce the word they. They talked about team. Yeah? Our seafarers, as we heard, they deserve respect. But do we offer them the respect? Do we show the respect when we talk about them as they? No. Where's the inclusion here? Yeah? We hear seafarers, they drive 80% of all the goods, they make the world to go around, and then we call them they. I'm offended. I want to be part of the team. I want to be part of the solution. And now I want to go back a little bit in time. You know, when the ships had sails and we had to find seafarers, you know what happened? The captain went into a bar. He paid drinks to the seafarers. He made them drunk. And he took them on his boat, and they woke up at sea when the sails were up. There is a terminology for this. It's called Shanghai. We Shanghai the seafarer. So let's make ourselves honest. And EXA, please make yourself honest. Crewing is money. The wages for the seafarers, the logistics to make the seafarers to move around is take and give 50% in each and every vessel of the OPEX. It's money. Are the seafarers doing anything much different than they did in the past? No. They get trained by their superiors. They get trained, inspired by their parents. We heard from Microsoft that your father was a captain. Yeah? And many of those seafarers, of our seafarers, get inspired by their families, by their leaders, by their lighthouses, by those which they have experienced with in the past. So they choose. But what is the shipping industry doing? We are looking at the last pennies when it comes to the management fee. We are looking at the last pennies when it comes to the crewing expenses. And we jump management companies from one to the other just to save money. That is the truth. And that is what we should change. That attitude towards ship owners, towards the maritime workforce. Seafarers are not a commodity. Yeah? And if you jump from one management company to another management company, you treat seafarers as a commodity. So this just as a mindset. If we really want to drive a change and to include the seafarers, we have to start in the boardrooms. The boardrooms have to understand that we are a team in the office and on board of the ship. And the terminology is we. We want to drive the change. We want to do it together. For that, we need to build effective teams. So we start with leadership, and then we build the teams. So there need to be a good understanding of team building. And it starts, first of all, that we recognize that we are a team. Yeah? So if there is not this recognition that we are a team, forget my presentation. We heard it from the PwC presentation, but also from Microsoft. We need 3 main pillars, and one of which is to enhance communication. How do we get the seafarers' worries into the boardroom? Through a survey? Through an email? How do we really get this information into the boardrooms? This we have to understand. That can only come through communication. So let's think how we communicate. And think what will be the case if in that chain of communication suddenly is artificial intelligence. We distance through artificial intelligence, if we don't get it right, the seafarer from the boardroom even more. We have to boost the moral and the motivation. This is very important. Yeah? New technologies are coming, that's okay, but they come very, very slow, so we will adjust to it. Shipping will get that right, I have no doubt on that. But until we reach there, we have to deal with the today's situation and the tomorrow situation. The moral and the motivation has to come up. But how can we keep up the motivation when at our home countries the expenses are running away, the mortgage interests are going up, the inflation is going up, the rents is going up, the educational fees are going up, everything goes bloody up? How can the seafarer be motivated when his salary is not adequately going up? We have crew managers in this room. What would you expect from your superiors to hear when you request 30% increase of wages? They will most likely throw you out of the window. And they say, if I go to my client, if I request a 30% increase of my wages, I will lose the ship. Yeah? So you will find a lot of excuses to tell to your seafarers, you know the 30%, maybe tomorrow, but not today. So you see, there's a dilemma, yeah? And this is only the beginning of the rising of expenses, because we have not started in our society to implement what our chairman said. Our chairman said we are up for a change of energy. Our ships are driven with different renewable energy sources. Our whole world will change. We get electrified. We get a lot of things coming. This will cost money. This will cost the society a lot of money, money which we don't have. So the gap between rising costs and what we are able to pay as our seafarers will increase, and that's a real problem. And that is what EXA should address. You need to keep the gap of the salaries at bay on board of ships with what is happening in the shore, otherwise nobody will go to sea. And then we can increase our productivity and efficiency when we well function as a team, meaning take the ideas of the seafarers on board and bring it to the attention of the client. You may have less clients when you take this approach, but you will be more effective and maybe a bit more efficient at the end. Now, providing constructive feedback. After we had a situation, we need the team to get together to solve the situation. For that, we need to know what is going on. And then we can, through clear goals and expectation, initiate the change. And we can then encourage creativity and innovation to get the boat afloat again, if we do that together in that manner. Practical strategies. First and foremost, foster an open communication. That we heard also in the previous two presentations. And this, I think, will go through the conference today. And we have to promote collaboration. The collaboration is not only between our seafarers and us in the office, it is a collaboration across the board. We need to get closer to the classification societies, to the ports, to the providers, to the suppliers, to our ecosystem. We need to get it together in order to collaborate in such a way that we avoid waste and we add efficiency. For that, it's very simple. Very clear roles, very clear goals and roles need to be established. We encourage trust and respect, and we promote cross-training. Cross-training means we have to train the workforce homogeneously for the most common things, and then we go specific, meaning on board of vessels and in the office we need training. We shall not forget that we in the office need training. Yeah? How many times are we going in the office to have seminars and this and this and this, where we really get some value out of it, and how many courses do we superimpose on our seafarers? There are different styles, and a good leader has to adopt an autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire leadership style depending on the situation. We cannot just be in one of the leadership styles. We need to adapt, and that is a skill as well. For an autocratic person to adopt a laissez-faire leadership skill needs training, I guarantee you that. But it's necessary because we have different situations in the shipping industry, and sometimes we have to be very autocratic. For instance, when there is a fire on board, when there is a real situation. Yeah? There are a few traits: clear communication, strategic thinking, decision-making, and first and foremost, a positive attitude and emotional intelligence. This will improve the morale on board of the vessel, and that should be guided in all our emails, phone calls, Teams meetings, Zooms meeting, however you call it. A positive attitude will help here. Successful leaders, well, clear communication, integrity and ethics, vision strategic thinking, and adaptability to resilience in dynamic and ever-changing industry. We started with sails. We went to steam engines, we went to diesel engines, now we are coming back to sails. You see what happened? I think I said that already. So my conclusion is building a high-performing team requires strong leadership in the boardroom first and focus on effective communication and collaboration. Leading by example. Ship owners, you have to show how you lead to your workforce. Effective team building and leadership are essential for the success in the today's market, vessels, and workplace. It should start in the boardroom. The top-to-down approach is really necessary, because these things do cost money, and they have to be committed from the top management down. Quality is not coming for free. Thank you.